think Giants fans earnestly, I mean, I have hundreds of comments from people. They earnestly want to know what he thinks of Jaxson Dart, like what the scouting report is of your son, since, he seems to be proficient in the area.
Yeah, no, he is. And he likes to study these guys. And I love his passion for the game, but he's a fan of Jaxson. Again, I have a daughter that goes to school there. So you naturally become a fan of where your kids go to school. So we were able to follow him, and I've taken him to the Manning Passing Academy in Louisiana the last couple of summers, and he gets to be around these kids. So I just think he looks up to any of these kids that are Division I athletes, and idolizes them. And Jaxson was good to him the couple of times he's met him. So he likes the pick as well. Carson was on board with that.
I love it. Carson knows ball. He can play a little bit too. He's a quarterback at Don Bosco. We saw a video of him practicing. I need the scouting mode. Okay, Joe, break down Carson's form for me.
Oh Lord, where do y'all find this stuff? He's supposed to be. Oh Lord, yeah, no, he's working really hard at it right now. Nobody coaches him harder than me. So he works actually with Matt Sims, which is Phil Sims' kids, every now and then, and QB Country and some other guys. He's working hard about it. He's got a long way to go. He's in a competition right now. So again, just like us, he's got to focus on himself and control what he can control.
Why did that elicit an "Oh Lord"?
It's just the social media world. We don't need to post every video that we're working out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just different era.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The Giants are crushing it on socials. Like when I'm watching this stuff with Jaxson, or even just the release of the war room and the draft stuff, I've obviously thought of you because you and I talked about Hard Knocks, the cameras, what it's like, the PTSD it caused. Was it are you more used to it now? How did that go for you? Because I was even talking to Casario about it. Like, you guys have to hate having these cameras in your face, or do you?
No, yeah. I just after that experience, it's you'd rather not. Even the Giants life that they did. It's like, I'd rather just work in the dark, nobody see what we're doing, and the results hopefully speak for themselves. So you put yourself out there, and again, I'm not on social media, but everybody's got an opinion now. So by not doing some of that stuff, you don't put yourself out there, and we obviously did that a year ago. So I met my quota on that stuff.
I mean, I love that. With Jaxson Dart, there is an idea on social media, I think even in the media, and supported by some creative video editing, that this pick of Jaxson Dart was Daboll's. This is Daboll's guy. Is that what you want me to think, or is this your guy too?
No, it was an organizational decision. Any player that we take, it's a collaborative process, and it's very detailed, and we believe in it. So, Jackson's a guy that was on the radar throughout the fall. We were able to see play live, spend a lot of time with him at the Senior Bowl, as well this spring. So it helps when the head coach has an offensive background and has a history with developing quarterbacks. And then you throw in a Mike Kafka, who was there for Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, where he only played one game, and he got to see that development, and Shea Tierney, our quarterback coach. So 3 coaches on staff that have been a part of, the development of 2 pretty good quarterbacks in the league right now. And when they're convicted on a player and the scouting staff's convicted on a player, typically you have the best chance for success in those situations.
Mm-hmm. When in the process did y'all collaboratively know? Or really, I would just like to know you personally, because you're the GM. When did you know he was your guy?
Yeah, the week of the draft, the Monday before the draft, we had a final meeting, and, it's like, now we have all the information. We've seen these guys multiple times. We've spent, we had dinners with them. We've been on campus. We've done private workouts, and we really sat down. And as the draft gets closer, you really start to narrow your circle. You want to eliminate outside voices. So my leadership group, along with a couple of the coaches, we sat down and we went through our final rankings. And that's when we started to devise a plan, whether we'd, go with, a player at 3 and then potentially tried to trade back into the first round. We had a pretty good idea that Abdul would be there at 3. And then, what were the other scenarios where, we could potentially acquire Jaxson.
Congratulations on it, and the swing, the way you did it. I love it. There's so much being made about Jaxson Dart's, like his moxie, like his sauce, like how he is, like the ball spinning and all of that. How do you see that? And is that a big deal in that locker room? Is that, can you break down his swag for me, coach? Not coach, but GM, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Yep.
And sometimes, some of those players that you see that maybe have some of the stuff that you used to have when you played. And, I think Dayball would probably have a little bit of the same moxie when he played. And I probably did too. So you like that. You like the competitiveness. He's competitive in anything that he does. You saw him when he got that bullseye. You're talking about the social media. So that was,
Yeah.
anything you do, he's uber competitive. We got ping pong tables in here, pool, whatever it is. He wants to win, and that shows up on a film. The way he plays, the energy he plays, the toughness. You see him stand in the pocket, take hits, and still deliver the ball accurately. And then what really stood out was the leadership. I think some of that moxie can transcend across both sides of the football, leading not just the offensive guys, but the defensive guys, special teams, whoever it may be, and truly being the leader of that Ole Miss team. So, those are all traits that we covet and we look for. And, obviously it spills over, and he's a little bit outwardly with his emotion on the field. And mind that at all, because that can be contagious, whether it's amongst your teammates, the crowd, momentum, whatever it may be. You love the passion and toughness that he plays with.
Was it your goal, Joe, to create the most, I don't even know how to describe, unique, eclectic quarterback room ever?
No, I didn't approach it that way with that in mind. But again, having Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston have been great additions for us. Just two veteran guys that have played a long time. I mean, Russ is, I believe it's one of 7 quarterbacks that have been at 10 Pro Bowls and won a Super Bowl. And then Jameis Winston, former #1 pick. So both of guys have been starting quarterbacks with organizations. They've led teams. They've been leaders of organizations. So to add the veteran presence along with the leadership on the offensive side of the ball and the ability for both of them to be vocal and, lead the young players and even some of the veterans, they've just been tremendous additions. And, I'm pleased with those guys and what they've done this far in the offseason program.
I haven't heard much about Jaxson Dart's leadership. There's like so much other stuff going on. I like that you're sort of focusing on what he can be as a leader, but I'm also curious how he can balance that in a room with a bona fide Super Bowl champ and a Jameis Winston, who is somebody who is just magnetic and everybody loves. Like, how can he, and he's so young, how's that going to work? How can he be a leader in that room,
Yeah, Kay, it's hard for any of these young players to come in and lead. Maybe you were the man in your college or university, whatever it is, but a lot of these guys do a good job of coming in and they just kind of stay in their lane their rookie year. And again, these are grown men. Some people have wife and kids and they're 30. It's hard for a 21 or 22-year-old to come around and, really lead these guys. So I think some of it's feel, take the temperature of the room, when it's right to step up and say something, and that'll come with time. Again, some of the quarterbacks I've been around, it was year 2, year 3 before you truly become comfortable in your own skin and being vocal and leading, the guy. So for Jaxson, he's in a unique situation that he can sit behind, a couple guys that have played at a high level and already had those leadership qualities and learn from those guys. And I think that'll just pay dividends, down the road in his career.